Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to yet another tier list. This time we are dealing specifically with franchises, that is, films with three or more sequels. So anything with two films or just the one offs, it doesn't count. It's not a franchise, it's either trilogy or less. So, duh. Joining me today is my usual cohorts. I have Zam and Gary. And new to our stream, I believe, I don't know if you've joined us before, we have Vizaxyn. Welcome.
Hi.
Hope you guys are all well. And there's quite a lot to get through, so we're just going to get started. And of course, we start off with the. Now, you could put these in dramas and thrillers, but we're just dramas, thrillers, all that. It's all in action because there's action in these. So let's roll. So we're going to start with The Godfather. And I'm going to start with Zam. Uh, where do you feel this should go?
It's funny because when you watch more modern gangster flicks, that stuff by Scorsese, it makes you realize how dated The Godfather is in a way. And then you hear about some of the stories regarding like how a lot of gangsters were involved in the making of the first film. Um, it kind of tarnishes it to me when I watch it now, knowing all of these things. I'm just going to put it as okay, the whole trilogy.
All right, Vizaxin, have you seen the Godfather trilogy?
I haven't seen a single one of them. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Gary,
I've seen all three.
where would you put this for yourself?
I'd put it in great because it's not quite UPKA because the third film is terrible, but the first two are really good. Like if you like, it's like Italian family sort of like. And I think the second one's better because it goes into the backstory of Don Corleone and like how he's had an influence on the family and stuff like that. But I do think the third one is quite bad.
Yeah. For me personally, I didn't like the Godfather films at all. I found them boring. Because I was late in watching them. Films that I'd seen before, I'd seen the Godfather trilogy, I'd done it way better. So we're just going to stick it in the okay tier. It's in the middle between Great and Thumper Dumper, and Zam's okay. So perfect. Okay, next we go to Indiana Jones. Now I'm gonna go with gonna start with Vizaxin. What are your thoughts on the where do you feel the Indiana Jones saga belongs?
I have not seen Crystal Skull.
Good for you.
So
Yeah,
I haven't
you
seen that.
dodged the
So,
bullet.
but that's what I hear. I will probably watch it eventually, just to round out the whole thing. But
It's a good bad movie.
the
Yeah.
Dixie says it's a good bad movie.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I don't necessarily mind bad movies as long as they're fun, but
It's just mindless popcorn.
yeah. So Last Crusade, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Temple of Doom. I saw all of those. I loved them. I think the series is great. Minus Crystal Skull, which I can't weigh in on, but
Where would you put it?
I'd put it on great.
Great,
I
okay.
wouldn't put it on Yippee Ki but it's like yeah. I happily go back to them. So
Okay.
Okay. Gary?
I agree. I put it great because I have seen Crystal and it was terrible. But the other three I think are really good. Even the second one is a bit darker than you think because it has people getting their hearts ripped out and flaming like children getting put into slavery and stuff like that. So I like it's a pretty dark movie. Like all three movies have dark parts of them. Like even the first bit where you see the Nazi's face get like literally dripped off and stuff like that. It's like, oh my god. But like as I said, I thought it was great.
All right. Zam.
Well, anyone who knows me knows I love these films, except for the Crystal Skull. I think it's shit. Even though it's shit, the first three films still outweigh it. It's Yippee Ki for me.
Okay. For me, I put it in. I've got to be brutally honest here. I only like two of the Indiana Jones films, the first and the third one. I absolutely hate Temple of Doom with a passion, and Crystal Skull. The the less said, the better. But we could put it in great, I suppose, because the legacy of the trilogy is, but
Up and down.
yeah, the legacy, like Crystal Skull, is forgettable, but the other three films are just so embedded in culture with everyone that putting it anything lower than great is just a sin. Okay, so next we have the Once Upon a the Mexico. They call it the Mexico series.
The El
Um,
Mariachi series.
no, it's just called the Mexico series or El Mariachi. Yeah, I suppose it's El Mariachi, but it's everywhere I look, it's just called the Mexico series. But yeah, this is so basically El Mariachi, Desperado, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. And I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to say that all three films are fantastic. Had a lot of fun. Like personally, for me, I mean, they're fantastic, but they're not like god tier fantastic. I would personally put it in great. Zam.
Desperado, just on its own, belongs in Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. As far as I'm concerned, it's such a stylish action movie, beyond fucking brilliant. I was very disappointed with Once Upon a Time in Mexico. It just did not live up to Desperado. And then I saw El Mariachi, and I was maybe expecting something similar to those films when it was more Tarantino-esque in that sense. It's great, this trilogy, just because of Desperado. I think Desperado is so good that even though the other two films I didn't appreciate as much, Desperado is just so fucking good. It has to be great.
Okay, Vizaxyn.
I've only seen Desperado.
All right.
I think Desperado belongs in great because I did enjoy it, but quite a bit. But yeah, so I can't speak for the other two, but I have seen Desperado.
All right, Gary.
I've seen the last two. Both of those films I thought were really great. I've not seen the first one, but I do agree with you. It does belong great based on those two.
So great it is. All right, then we go on to a rather fun first two films and an absolutely abysmal third film. We have the Mummy Trilogy.
Wait, the Brendan Fraser one, or
the Brendan Fraser one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the Brendan Fraser one. And Vizaxyn, I will go to you. What did you think of these films?
I'm still gonna stick them in. I'm still gonna stick them in great. I mean the third ones, but I'm still gonna stick them in great because they're fun. They're fun to watch, but I wouldn't put them in Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. It's just they had fun making them. They clearly did. They clearly had a lot of enjoyment on making those movies. But yeah, okay. they going great.
Yeah, Gary.
I agree. Like the first two are like old 40s tributes, and the one with Jet Li wasn't as great. So I put it in great.
Yeah, Zam.
It's okay for me. The first one's brilliant, by the way. Thoroughly enjoyed the first film. The second one I didn't enjoy as much. Come on, remember The Rock? Please.
The CGI
Scorpion King Rock was an absolute joke. And then in the third one, you got Jet Li in there, and you use him like that. And there's one scene in the third one where him and his son, who's now sounds like a redneck from sounding like a posh choir boy in the first one, a posh English choir boy in the second one. Sorry, now he's a fucking redneck in the third one. But he says to his dad, Brendan Fraser, you only killed one mummy, and because he's talking about Imhotep, but that's not the case. He killed loads of mummies, all those little other mummies, those second degree mummies.
All the little minions.
The one that came out the walls and shit. Like, he killed loads of mummies. So all these sort of things pissed me off. It's own okay, and plus Rachel Weisz wasn't in the third one. It's okay. Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm happy to put it in either okay or great. I love the first one. Second one was okay. Third one was garbage. So whatever, we can put it in great. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. Put it in great. It's
on you, man.
Yeah, we'll put it in great. That's fine. All right. Now we go to the famous.
I can't believe the Mummy Trilogy isn't great, but okay.
Yeah. Well, you got to look at the funness of it. So next we go to
That's why it's great for me. It was fun.
a rather beefy franchise. One of the first of the really beefy franchises. We have Rocky. And Gary, I'll start down with you.
These are incredibly incredible movies. Even the movies that are a bit rubbishy, which is like the fourth and the fifth one, there's still stuff to like about it. Like the fifth one is a total sharp chunk of a movie. It has a robot in it. It has literally
That's the fourth one.
That's the fourth
yeah,
one.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like it has Sylvester Stallone literally stopped the Cold War. It is ridiculous, and it gets in like massive shape by flaming walking up and look from it. I love it to pieces. This is yippee-ki-yay motherfucker for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine, Zan.
Yeah, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. I mean, like, you don't go this long in this saga. We're talking Creed movies as well, without being something special. And like the Rocky films are iconic. Like people, when they go up those stairs in Philadelphia, they're all doing the yay, you know what I mean, and all that sort of shit. Yeah, I think there's a statue of him as Rocky still in Philadelphia as well. I mean, the guy's left them. This film is pop culture. This is a part of our lives. Rocky's yippee-ki-yay motherfucker, without a doubt.
Yeah. Vizaxyn?
I have not seen a single Rocky movie.
Whoa.
I know.
All right, no worries. Yeah, for me, yeah.
I love how that fell right on the heels of Sam's comment. It's like, this is all a part of it. This is a part of our lives. This is a part of our culture. I'm like, here I am, right afterwards. I've never seen a single one of them.
I have to agree. This is definitely a yippee-ki-yay motherfucker tier. It's just brilliant. There's 6 films of Rocky, and there's something for everyone in all of them. Don't forget, we have Balboa as well, which was a comeback film, and that was excellent. Rocky 5 is the only one I watch and just thought was absolute shit. The rest, there's always something there that's great fun to enjoy. So
Rocky 5 had a couple of good moments. There was a scene where Tommy leaves and he's having a chat with his wife and they're arguing on the one as they're walking. That was one of the best scenes in Rocky. That was a really good scene.
Like the son and his fights and all that.
Yeah.
Well. So there were some good moments in it.
Yeah, even for the shittest film. So it's yippee-ki-yay for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, next we have the American Ninja franchise. Now this is as vintage 80s as you can get. Absolute hilarity, fighting ninjas with fucking fighting against entire armies, no guns, just bow and arrows and katanas versus Uzis, and the ninjas win. Kind of just quintessential, brilliant. Zam, let's go to you.
Is Michael? What's his name?
Dukakis? Is it
Dukakis?
Dukakis? No, not Dukakis. Dukov.
Dukov, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Dukakis is the guy who took over from Brandon Lee. He was in the third John Wick movie.
Yeah, that's Mark Dukakis.
But yeah, cheesy as fuck when you watch it now. You have to watch it with nostalgia. And but it's amazing how much I loved it as a kid. All these films, I wanted to be a ninja when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it was just great. And there was also there's some background story and stuff like that as well regarding him learning from a grandmaster and shit. This was so good, man. I don't remember much of it, but it does bring a smile to my face. I'm gonna say yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
All right,
just for the nostalgia.
I'm trying to think, and I don't think I've seen any of these either.
Okay, no problem.
I no recollection. I'm sorry.
No problem.
That's all right, Gary.
I've seen a couple of them, and I agree with that. They are ridiculously awesome, and a big emphasis on the ridiculous part.
I want to watch them now.
Yeah, I have to. I cannot.
They're so OTT.
They're so OTT. They are so 80s in every
80s.
way. They're not
fantastic.
good,
They're right up my alley then.
but they're great for all the wrong reasons, and you just get so much joy watching them. They definitely go into the God tier. Right. So next we have A more modern, a very new franchise that's only been around since I think 2014, and it's already spawned 3 films with a fourth on the way. We have John Wick and Vizaxyn. Have you seen any of the?
Nope.
My God, that's just a stinger.
I know I'm
Need to put that one on
terrible.
your list for sure.
That definitely put that on your list.
I have heard good things.
Yeah, Gary.
I've seen all three of them, and all three are great. And I've got to say, these are yippee for me because it's the same characters. And the thing is, it's that this made Keanu Reeves cool. Okay, before this, he was like 10, he was all like, whoa, and all this stuff. But this is all like, you hear the story about this guy, and then like, that he killed people, 4 people with a pencil and stuff like that. You're like, what the hell? And then you just see this like him going further into this like, yeah, all great stuff. So yeah. Yippee
All
for
right.
me.
Zam.
I want to disagree a little bit with Bossman regarding this made him cool because he was cool when he was doing The Matrix, but this definitely was a resurgence in his career, which he desperately needed. And I remember when I saw the trailer about this guy getting revenge for his dead dog, I thought, shit, Keanu, what the fuck are you doing, mate? Seriously, you're a hitman getting revenge for your dog. I just fuck this shit. Then my mate made me watch it. My mate Too Dry, he made me watch it with him, and I fell in love with this film. And then I wanted to see the second one, which was a massive hit on the cinema. Because the first one wasn't a big hit on the cinema. It got renowned.
So with the second one, it came out around about like with Deadpool as well, where there were the 2 like R-rated action films. It was a kind of return to R-rated action films that actually made a lot more money because the budget for John Wick was very low. So it made a huge profit. Same with Deadpool. And the second one and the third one just made stupid amounts of money.
The action as well. This is the sort of action I want to see in my action films, not choppy fucking cuts and edits. I want to see one takes, and I want to see the actor himself doing it. And that's what we got with John Wick. Fucking love it. The third one wasn't that great in my opinion, but regardless, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yep, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, for sure. I love all 3 of these. I do have to disagree with the third one personally, but that's just a personal choice, especially the scene with the dogs. I don't know why Cheetos put it in Thumper Dumper. He's looking to get choked.
I just want to say that I just felt like the climax of the third one wasn't that good because it started off so good, but they couldn't continue that momentum with the fight scenes at the end, if you know what I mean. And it felt very similar to the mirror room in the second one as well. The setting.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, next we have, again, another quintessential 80s franchise, and that is the Death Wish franchise with Charles Bronson. Zam, have you ever seen any of these?
Yes, I have. I've seen all of them. There's 5 films, I believe. Yeah. I just got fed up of seeing Charles Bronson. It got worse. The first 2 are really good. Second one, especially, I think the second one's really good. Yeah. As in, he's like, come on, man! Like this guy, like every time, like who wants to date him? If you date him, you're gonna die. Yeah, I mean, they got, like don't go out with Charles Bronson. And Charles Bronson himself should have stopped dating people. You know what I mean? If he knew he was such a magnet for them, for his girlfriends dying. If it wasn't, I have to say, I think this series got really bad by the 3rd, 4th, and 5th film. I'll put it on okay.
All right. Vizaxyn, have you seen Death Wish?
Let me think. Sounds vaguely familiar. The first one is the one where his wife and his daughter get attacked by a bunch of gangs, and then he just goes around as a vigilante, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've only seen the first one in this. I liked it.
All right.
I liked it. It goes. I put it in okay. I was like I liked it. That was actually Jeff Goldblum's first role.
Oh really?
Yeah.
He's in. Yeah.
Well, okay. I'll have to go back and rewatch him. I haven't seen him since I was a young'un. Gary.
I've seen all 5 of them, and I agree with Sam. 2 of them are really good, and then the rest of them are garbage. And because of the garbage, I'm sorry, Thumper Dumper, because even though the other two are great, I have to. There's like a hard cut, and it goes terrible.
For me, the first 2 were really good, and the other 3 were garbage. So, suppose we could put it in just the okay, because at least it has
That fight scene in the hospital in the second one at the end, brilliant.
brilliant.
I love that fight scene. Really good, brutal as well. Loved it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll stick it in okay, because at least it's got two good films to stop it from being a total hogwash.
Hmm.
Jason Nailsy just beating his meat. Oh, there we go. All right. Next, we have the Die Hard saga. I might as well go on this one. Now, I absolutely love the first three films. Die Hard with a Vengeance. On the third film, you kind of think, oh, things are going to wane, but it's actually my favorite in the series. I've seen it God knows how many times in the cinema. The following sequels after with a Vengeance are garbage. I hate them with a passion. But personally speaking, the first three are still enough to kind of edge this into yippee-ki-yay motherfucker, which is oddly enough where the God tier title comes from. Zam.
This is for me, Yippee for sure, and I don't mind the fourth one, and I think by the way the second one doesn't get enough love. It doesn't get
Yeah, I
enough love
agree.
at all. The second one's a brilliant action
brilliant.
film with a lot of original action scene moments. The only problem is I think the villains weren't that great in it. The motive of it. Obviously, Hans Gruber being in the first one being one of the most iconic villains in cinema history as well. Alan Rickman's performance was great. I think the third one's very good. The fourth one is okay in my opinion, not great, not original enough. The fifth one is a disgrace, not just to Die Hard, but to the character of John McClane. It's an absolute disgrace to his character. I really hated his portrayal of John McClane in that movie. But regardless, yippee-ki-yay motherfucker for the entire franchise.
Yeah.
And may there never be another Die Hard movie again.
Yeah, I agree. Vizaxyn?
I've seen the first three. I haven't seen the fourth or the fifth one. But I I love the first three. The first one is the best Christmas movie ever.
Goddamn right.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
So that alone just puts in yippee-ki-yay.
All right, fantastic. Gary?
The first three are yippee but the other two drag it down a little bit for me. The other two are like terrible, like 4 Pointless is terrible, and when it goes to Rush is terrible. So those drag it down is great, but if it wasn't for those two, it'd be yippee-ki-yay for me.
All right. Dixie, did you want to add anything?
Okay, now do you want to add anything?
Huh? Oh,
Feel
I was
free
just
to
gonna
jump
agree
in,
with
it's
you
no
about it being
problem.
the best Christmas movie ever.
He agrees with me that was the best Christmas
And Die
movie
Hard
ever.
2 is also a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
Don't forget
it's
that.
yippee-ki-yay for sure. The original trilogy was enough. Not the remakes, the following sequels, we don't talk about those. All right. Next, we have a kind of sleeper hit of a franchise, although that kind of came out of nowhere and grew a huge cult following. And it's the Riddick Trilogy, which is Pitch Black, Chronicles of Riddick, and then just Riddick, starring Van Unleaded or
Vin Diesel.
whatever you want to call them. Zam.
I think Pitch Black is overrated. It's a good film, but the way people went on about it, it was like the greatest since sliced bread. It's all right. It's an okay film. Chronicles of Riddick was absolutely ridiculously shit and stupid and confusing, and when they went to do Riddick, you could see the budget was taken away, and it was pretty much they were trying to get back to the glory days of Pitch Black. I don't know where I want to put this. It's either okay or Thumper Dumper. I think I'll be doing it disservice for Thumper Dumper, so I'll put it on okay.
All right. Vizaxyn.
I'd put it on. Okay, I haven't seen Riddick. Pitch Black, I love Pitch Black. I love how it builds up. I love how it's quiet
the
for the
build-up is
most
great.
part.
Yeah.
It's like it's wonderful because these people are, they know that something went awry, and there's a great mystery as to like how, and it really doesn't come until the tail end. So I do enjoy that that build up quite a bit. It's not immediately like horrifying. The Chronicles of Riddick were that one was fun. It was stupid as all hell, but it was fun. Yeah, that's the sort of movie that you sit around with a group of friends and you just rip on the movie.
It was
Oh,
Dune
yeah.
without the
So-
sandworms, basically, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we were just doing like an individual movie and we were just talking about the first one, I'd put it in great. Because I haven't seen Riddick and the second one was not great, I would probably just put it in okay.
All right, Gary.
I've only seen the first two. I think that Pitch Dark, was a pretty decent monster movie. The second one, I agree a little bit with Zab that it's a little bit confusing because like you have these people, but they're like invasion. They're almost like the Reavers from playing Mass Effect. They go around this scene, and then like Vin Diesel becomes their leader at the end. I'd put it in the okay tier personally.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Pitch Black. I thought that was a good film. Chronicles of Riddick, nothing special for me. It was fun, but yeah, it's one of those like with Vizaxyn said, you just kind of rip on the silliness. And Riddick was just garbage. So I'm happy to put it in our okay tier. I think that seems to be the general consensus. All right. So who's feeling lucky? Because next we have Dirty Harry. Now I've only seen the first one, the first Dirty Harry film, so I'm not much of a jumping off point. For the first film was great, and that's my input. So I'll take it to Gary.
I've seen most of these, so Dirty Harry, the first one is great. The other ones are really good. Like there's one where like he goes against road cops who go around like shooting people for dead. Then you get one where he has to go against these people who are doing like a dead pill for celebrities, and then he's got one where he's with a female cop and stuff like that. Most of these are pretty decent. I put it in great. I won't put it in yippee just because some of the other ones apart from Dirty Harry are a bit hit miss with quality, but I put most of them in the great tier for me myself.
Okay, Vizaxyn.
I can't weigh on this one. I also have not seen any of the Dirty Harry movies.
Okay, no worries, Zam.
I've seen them. It's weird in a way. Like these films, like the first one's great, and then after that, it became a bit like the Lethal Weapon franchise, but he always had a different partner, and it was very Lethal Weapon-ish in that sense. These are really good films, but I'll put it as great. Yeah, great. They're good. They're good films. It's iconic character and everything, but not that amazing, but good enough. Great.
Yeah. Okay. Great. It is.
What did you say about it, Panny? You only seen the first one.
Oh, I
haven't
said
you?
I only saw the first one. I haven't
Okay,
seen the
okay.
other ones. I thought that was a great film, but just never got around to seeing the others. How many were there in total? Was it 4 or 3?
Five.
Oh, it's 5. Bloody hell.
Deadpool being the last one, funny enough.
Right.
It's called
Okay,
Deadpool.
so next we have the Spaghetti Western trilogy, which is what was it?
The
actually?
Dollars trilogy.
The Dollars trilogy. Thank you, Sam. Which is of course The Good, Bad, the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars, and A Few Dollars More. Absolutely love these films. Absolutely fantastic for that era. You go back and you just watch it just for the Ezio Morricone soundtrack, which is phenomenal. So for me personally, I'd put these either in the yippee-ki-yay motherfucker for me personally. Zam?
Yeah, yippee-ki-yay motherfucker for me. There's only one other film in this list of films that have been considered to be the greatest movie of all time, and that's The Godfather. Well, maybe Godfather 2, and also The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I mean, that film is just fucking phenomenal. That film is so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. And the other films that are really good as well, but that one is just who would have thought that the third film of a trilogy? And the funny thing is about that trilogy is backwards. Like A Few Dollars More is supposed to be the last film, and obviously the second film is still the middle of the movie, but The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is supposed to be the first film of the trilogy, even though it was made third.
Yeah.
It's weird that way, but yeah, fantastic. But this whole trilogy, fantastic. Lee Van Cleef, fan-fucking-tastic, as well as Clint Eastwood, as well as Eli Wallach. Yeah, got put it up there. Just, I love it.
Yeah. Vizaxyn?
I have only seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but it's one of my favorite movies.
All right.
So even if I thought the other two were absolutely shit, I would still say put it in Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
All right. Gary?
I agree. I've seen all three of them, and all three of them are great. There's not a bad moment in any of them.
They don't make westerns like that anymore, man.
The good guy's not a good guy. I love it.
Yeah, that's the best part about it.
I know.
No, but like he's not an asshole. That's the difference. Like you saw like the good.
I know he's not an asshole, but he's
you saw
not a
Blondie.
good guy.
You saw like no, but you saw Blondie. Like he there was a guy who just was dying on the ground, and he gave him a cigarette, gave him some water. He's not an asshole in that sense, and that was why he was the good in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But yeah, I know what you mean. I like it that they're grey. There's a lot of grey, and I like that.
I mean, he's working with Tuco at the start of the movie to shoot Tuco down and collect the bounty. I mean, it's like it's like he's scamming towns out of money.
Yeah. Awesome.
I remember that as well with the fake hangings and stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Okay. Next we have the mother of all franchises, with the 9th film coming out in a couple of months as well, and that is the Fast and the Furious franchise. I'm going to start with Vizaxyn.
I have only seen the first two, and I just put them in okay. I mean, maybe they get better. I have no idea. They were fun.
Okay.
Not great, but they were fun.
Yeah. Gary?
It started off as a car franchise, and now it's become like this huge action, sort of like really ridiculous, flaming, almost high-slide franchise now. So I mean, it's hard to evaluate it, but I would say, you know what, I'm going to put it in great, just because to see something that was literally about cars and street car racing and stuff like that, and to see it now becoming this like heist movie with flaming goddamn ridiculous stuff, like with like a massive amount of cars coming out this way and stuff like that, and people going over the ice and going up flaming submarines and stuff like that. It's ridiculous, but it's great. Ridiculous.
Yeah, Zam.
I was close to actually putting this on Thumper Dumper. Don't get me wrong, I would still watch the entire saga regardless. But I feel like when you watch the first Fast and Furious movie, and then you may watch the most recent one, you think, what the fuck? How is this all the same universe? Yeah, it's unbelievable. When you like the timeline is a bit all over the place. Han has now come back. We've seen that shit. And all these guys who end up being bad guys end up being good guys. Like someone like Jason Statham's character should not have turned into a good guy. His brother's turned into a good guy. And I guarantee you John Cena will fucking turn into a good guy, but it's all about the family.
Oh, he'll join the family.
Dom need family. Dom need family. Love family. Fuck Dom, man. You know what? Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. Fuck all of this.
You're a heartless bastard. Now, for me, this franchise is god tier for the absolute ridiculousness of it. It started off, I
said put in okay because I mean it was fun, but
it started.
But it has got ridiculous recently. It's just got it's like heist sort of like territory and flaming discipline, like parachuting off flaming like buildings onto flaming bolts and stuff like that. It's going to absolute ridiculousness.
From one skyscraper and smashing into another skyscraper, and then all that kind of. It's just it's gotten like ridiculous, but you kind of enjoy the ride of it because, like, the first one started off as it. I love the first one for what it was. It was basically undercover policeman infiltrate a street racing gang that also do robberies and all this kind of stuff. And it goes from that to now Dom and his team being like the only people in the whole world, not special forces, not anyone specifically trained, but these former TV thieves that can save the planet. And just for that, like I absolutely love it. But given the general consensus, I'm okay to put it in just the great tier.
Like in the end of the first one, the bad guy was this truck driver who we never saw his face. It was like they were ripping off on Jewel, and fucking Dom and all these guys are having trouble with him. And then you watch the more recent ones, they're robbing banks with the fucking thing at the back, and they're tailing shit, and they're doing all kinds of maneuvers. How the fuck was that truck driver ever a problem in the first film, considering the shit they get up to in the more
But
recent
yeah, I mean,
movies?
in the
Fuck
fifth
these
one they're
films,
robbing
man.
money, and then by the ninth one they're now saving the fucking world. I mean,
I
that's
can't wait till they go to space. Like I said, I'll watch all of this shit, and I can't wait till they go to space.
No, Sharknado already did that.
Drive underwater and shit, all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, well the rumor is in 9 they're going in space, so let's see. Yeah. All right. Next, moving on, we have the Born Identity saga. Because
seen
of course
it.
we also
Haven't seen
you
any
haven't
of them.
seen it.
Nope.
Okay, no worries. Zam.
I just want to say that I did not like the action scenes in the first one, and I was so happy that Paul Greengrass then directed the second and third one because he knows how to direct action. And the action scenes in the second and third one is what led to, in my opinion, a lot of some of the great action scenes we're getting now. Born Supremacy is fucking brilliant. I was so happily surprised how good that film was compared to the Born Identity, which I didn't enjoy that much. But Supremacy and Ultimatum were brilliant. This is. I'll get back to you. It's between great and Yippee-ki-yay. I want to hear what other people have to say.
I'd say the first one is a pretty decent film, and then the other two are are better than that. So I'd put it in great. I haven't seen the fourth one though.
Oh, I haven't seen that either. Yeah, I heard that shit. Actually, there's another one with him. There's a fourth. There's one with Jeremy Renner, and then there's one after that with Matt Damon.
Is there?
Yeah. So there's 5 Bourne films. I've only seen 3.
Yeah, I've only seen 3 as well.
No, there's only 4.
No, there's another. Matt Damon did 4 Bourne films.
Are you? Oh, hang on. Let me check.
I think it's just called Jason Bourne. His 4th one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it rings a bell. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Hang on.
But I didn't bother. I just, I'm done with Ultimatum. For me, is good enough. I'm happy for the saga to end there. But Paul Greengrass, man, he made those films. He's an underrated director. I want to see him do more films.
I haven't even seen that one. Right. Yeah, I mean, the first one, I hated the action scenes with a passion. They were abysmal, and sadly, that's what set the trend. That set a trend for a lot of other studios to do the fucking shaky cam thing. Something I absolutely despise, and I cannot believe to this day.
It has its place, but not everywhere.
It doesn't work for me. It makes me dizzy.
I was gonna say I'm prone to motion sickness, so
yeah, exactly. It makes me dizzy. It's lazy filmmaking, basically. Shaky cam is lazy filmmaking. Even the Russos did it in their MCU films, and it pissed me off, especially if you watch the Captain America ones. The 2 sequels I followed it were superb. Absolutely love them. Legacy was garbage, and I didn't even realize there was a 5th film, so I haven't seen that one. But I heard it's not great. So I'm happy to stick these in the great tier if you guys want, just for the 2 sequels that were. Tier. Yeah, great. Yeah, that's fine.
Can't really weigh in, so.
Yeah, sometimes you get enough out of 2 films that are just like, they compensate for the rest of them. Right, next we have the Thirst saga, which is Mad Max. Again, starting off with the first 3, they were, quintessential 80s TV. Zam, let's go with you.
Okay, the first Mad Max film I think is really shit. It's a hard fucking watch. Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, is world class. It is unbelievable. You don't even need to see the previous Mad Max film. You could just start with this film, Road Warrior. Beyond Thunderdome was okay. Where you could see the Hollywood involvement in it. Tina Turner was not bad. Surprised she didn't do more acting after that
Yeah,
film.
she was great.
Yeah, I'm surprised she never did more acting. It was really weird. But nevertheless, the Tom Hardy film I enjoyed, but a lot of people really highly rate that movie. I don't rate it the same way they do, but I did enjoy it for what it was. We did also get the Ayatollah Rock and Roller from Mad Max, as well as the Ayatollah being the inspiration for Jason Voorhees' mask as well in the Friday the 13th films.
That's right.
I will put Mad Max on great.
Okay, Vizaxyn.
I can't weigh in on these either.
All right, no worries.
I lived
Gary?
under a rock when I was a kid.
Gary?
I've seen all four of these. I think I agree with what Zam said. The first one is a revenge movie. The second one is a really, really good movie about trying to get oil out of place. And then the third one is a bit too corporate. And I thought I liked the fourth one enough, so I put it in great.
Okay. Well, you can stick them in great. I mean, I only like the second one out of all of these. I did not like any of the other ones personally, but you can stick them in great. That's fine. Okay, next we have what's these ones? I can't see.
Looks like the Marine. Looks like the Marine.
Oh, the Marine. Yeah, the Marine. I haven't seen any of these. Zan?
I haven't either. I don't
I've
think.
seen only the first one, and that was John Cena's acting debut, I believe.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And it's okay for what it is. You know, there was a good action scene in it, where his car's getting shot to shit, which was pretty cool. But it's okay. Okay, I'm putting it as okay.
Gary?
I've seen two of these, both of them are rubbish. So flip a dubber for me, I'm sorry.
All right. Well, Zam, Gary will flip a coin then.
Yeah. No. You know what? No, I'll go Thumper Dumper.
Okay, Thumper Dumper.
They,
No worries.
I'm saying okay, but I know they're shit. So
No
Thumper
worries.
Dumper.
So that's our first Thumper Dumper. All right. All right, next again, quintessential 80s action awesomeness. We have the man himself, Mr. Charles Norris, in the Vietnam trilogy of Missing in Action. Gary, we'll go to you.
I think I've seen two of these, and I think they were absolutely ridiculous. So because of that, I'll put it in okay.
All right.
It's like Chuck Norris trying to be a badass when, no offense, he doesn't look like one.
Yeah. Vizaxyn?
I'm trying to. I think I've seen one of these. I don't know which one it was. I thought it was stupid. if indeed it was the thing, I just remember Chuck Norris being in Vietnam, so it was probably one of these. But this is Thumper Dumper for me.
Okay, Zam?
The first film was set in modern times with him having PTSD flashbacks to when he was in Nam, and they tried to mix some sort of this sort of drama with action, and Chuck Norris is not the man to do it. The second film was actually a prequel, if people remember, and the third film he had like a Vietnamese kid, a wife and kid and shit, and they were in trouble in Saigon or something, and he goes there to save them. These films are shit. Honestly, these films are shit. This is Thumper Dumper, mate. Honestly, they're shit.
Yeah, again, I agree. As quintessential, as awesome as 80s as they are, they were shit. They were really shit. Okay, next we have the Mission Impossible films. Basically, let's see what crazy stunt Tom Cruise is going to do. Oh, and there's a couple of other dickheads that join him as well. Let's go with Vizaxyn.
Mission Impossible. I'm trying to think if I've even seen any of these. I don't think I have.
Really, you're missing out.
That's what I hear, but I don't think I've seen any of them.
Okay.
So, sorry, can't weigh in on these.
Right. Gary.
I've seen all of these. I think the first couple aren't as good as the later ones, if that makes sense. Because the first couple were a little bit Bond inflected, especially like the Pierce Brosnan Bond. Whereas later on, it became more its own thing where like they were like climbing the Burj Khalifa, or they're like flaming trying to like do some like weird stunt to do with trying to break people out of jail and stuff like that. I mean, I think because of that, it's a yippee for me.
All right, Zam.
Yeah, yippee for me. Before Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise was not an action star. He was doing a lot of dramatic roles. Mission Impossible comes around. He's doing his own fucking stunts now. This guy, for me, even though he's a bit crazy in the Scientology, he's become an American national treasure. He is the best thing since Jackie Chan. When it comes to an action movie star who does his own stunts, I love it. And the guy is almost in his 60s and he's still fucking doing this shit. It has to be yippee motherfucker. And not all the films are great. I mean, the latter films have been really good, but yippee motherfucker for all of these things.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can stick it in. I personally speaking, I fucking hate these films. I was a huge lover of the original series, and these
Likewise.
films are a fucking insult to that series because these films are all about just Ethan Hunt and not the team. It's just basically what fucking stunt could Tom Cruise do? Oh, and here's a bunch of other stuff. So I hate this franchise with a passion, but I'll still put it in like yippee because I know like at least two of you absolutely love it, and it does have its place there. It's just a personal thing, personal gripe with these. And I like Tom Cruise. Don't get me wrong. I like Tom Cruise, but this is the only thing of Tom Cruise that I just don't like at all. But again, happy to put it in yippee because I'm in the minority here. I think I'm the only one actually. Right, next we have.
Well, I can't even weigh in. So.
Hey, well, you've got my back then. Thumper Dumper it is. Put it no, just kidding. Okay, next we have the police story films. Now, I can't remember how many of them. I think they've done 6 of these. I've seen them all. I absolutely love them. They are just Jackie Chan in a kind of police comedy film, and the stunts are phenomenal. I mean, this like one of the scenes that put him on the map. There was 2 bits. One involved like in the mall, the guy that fell down, holding on to the lights, and the other one was like this fight scene involving a ladder. But these films are just in the stratosphere of fantastic Hong Kong action films for me. So and even the last one they did was still really good. So on a personal note, these goes yippee. But Zam, will go to you.
Jackie Chan in Police Academy wasn't fully embracing his comedy then. He was doing comedy in some films.
Police Story, not Academy.
Sorry, my bad. But but the police story itself was definitely a serious film. It was a bit of internal affairs and stuff like that. It's funny because you think of Jackie Chan stunts, but one of the best stunts in Jackie Chan film was that scene in Police Story where they're driving down that hill and they're smashing through all those fucking houses and shit.
Yeah.
And that was a car set stunt scene, and there wasn't even him to do with any fighting and stuff. Obviously, the mall in the first one was good. The second one was excellent as well, where they're fighting in that building, and you got that deaf guy going and all that sort of stuff. And he was a really good fighter. I like the way he picks his character. They don't have to be the biggest guy. They just know how to fight, and you respect them for their fighting techniques more than their physique. Police Story is just great. Everything about Jackie Chan. Well, I'll take that back. Not everything about Jackie Chan's great, but a lot of his films are good. You just want to watch him kick ass and do his stuff. It's a shame he's not younger. This is yippee without a doubt.
Vizaxyn?
I'll have to take your word for it. I've seen parts of various parts of these movies, but I couldn't tell you which one they belonged in. It's fun watching Jackie Chan do stuff.
I'm just so glad he hasn't died. You know what I mean? Because I think the fact that he's still alive, people don't respect him the way they do with Bruce Lee, and I think he's surpassed Bruce Lee in my opinion. For what he's done for movies, he surpassed him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Bruce Lee gets all the love because he broke out in America. I suppose Jackie Chan, who first kind of broke out in in thing, but
Bruce
then the
Lee.
films he did in Hollywood was shit.
Bruce Lee is American born. Bruce Lee is American. Jackie Chan is Chinese.
Bruce Lee wasn't born in America; he was born in Hong Kong.
I saw a documentary where he was born they mentioned he was born in America. That's why I said that.
Unless he moved back to Hong Kong when he was a kid and then
Fair
went
enough.
back to
If I'm wrong
America.
about that, I'll take it back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was born in Hong Kong. That's cool. All right, Gary.
I wish I could comment on this last, but I have to do what Viz says. Sorry, I've not actually seen these. And maybe I've seen like clips of him doing the special effects, doing the stunt work. But apart from that, I've not actually seen it.
All right, but here it is. Yeah, no worries, yippee-ki-yay. I mean, all right.
I mean, I raise no objections to it being up there. I mean,
yeah. We'll take your word for it, guys.
Yeah, no worries. All right, next we have the I am too old for this shit franchise. That is Lethal Weapon. And Vizaxyn,
I've seen none of them.
Really?
Oh my Lord.
Wow.
Really?
I told you I lived under a rock.
All right. Gary?
I've seen all these. I'm still the thing is that they kind of all meld together in my head. Like there's bits. The second one's the one that like I remember the most because it's like the bad guys from South Africa and he's got
community.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff like that. The first one, I remember it was Gary Busey, like put a lighter underneath his hand, which was just weird.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one was Jet Li in it. I put it as okay because again, like I can only remember bits. I can't actually remember the actual plot. If you put a gun against my head, I can never not actually remember the plot. I can remember the plot of number 2, and that's it, really.
All right, Zam.
This is yippee-ki-yay. This has got tier for me. When you watch the first film, it's actually kind of basic with the storyline and stuff. It could have been an episode of a TV show, but the relationship between Riggs and Murtaugh just got better and better with each movie, and you love the camaraderie, and then you're adding all these other people in there like Joe Pesci and not Renée Zellweger, Rene Russo, and then Chris Tucker at the end. Like I love it. I love this saga. This is really, really good. This is a place in my heart. This is top tier.
All right. Yeah, for me, the first 3 films, I absolutely love them. The 2 sequels were superb. I mean, they just went into like just slightly different areas as they progressed. Again, like the villains in the second one with the South Africans, which is great. It had Patsy Kensit was absolutely gorgeous in that. And Joe Pesci just stole the third film. He was absolutely brilliant. I hate the fourth one. I didn't like it. But the first 3 were just, yippee-ki-yay for sure.
And also, like, you just love seeing, like, Martin Riggs just getting better and better. Like, he's such a broken man in the first. And by the fourth film, he's mended. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. It's just so great. Just to see him get better, and his relationship with Murtaugh does that. I love it.
Yep, fair enough. Okay, next we have the Taken franchise with Liam Neeson on his phone, and Vizaxyn hasn't seen these.
Nope.
I'll go to Gary.
I've seen 2 of these. Actually, no, I've seen all 3 of them. Actually, I tell a lie. And the first one is okay. Like, it's a typical revenge movie. You don't do this, I'm going to do this to you. And the second one is sort of like the other way around, where he's the one taken and his daughter rescues him. And the third one is when he basically goes on the run. So it's sort of, I think it's okay personally. If it's put it anywhere.
Sam?
It's unbelievable how bad the sequel is, and it was so bad I didn't even want to see the third film. I haven't seen the third film. Taken is fantastic. If it was only Taken alone, this would be yippee-ki-yay. But because of how terrible the second sequel is and what I hear about the third one, I'm gonna have to put this on Thumper Dumper, because how dare you make a great movie with 2 disgusting sequels? Thumper Dumper.
Yeah. For me personally, this is Thumper Dumper. I hated all 3 films. Just the whole thing was fucking stupid. So I'll just leave it at that. All right. Next we have the Expendables. You mishmash a what's the word I'm looking for? A, whatever, who cares? You know, a
A
team up, all
smorgasbord.
team ups.
I haven't
Huh?
seen them.
The super team, the super action team, the legends of all the fucking classic action films you can think of come together in a mediocre trilogy. Sam.
I have to give Stallone credit for being able to create 3 franchises that he's involved in, which created 3 or more movies. Expendables being that third set after Rocky and Rambo. It's not as good as Rocky and Rambo, but it's very nostalgic with all these actors in there. I did like the second one when Van Damme was playing a villain. I appreciate stuff like that. You know, him being a goody two shoes for all these years. I like the way they didn't kill off Dolph Lundgren's character and they actually redeemed him in the first one, and he was still there and he was different and he's a lot better actor than people give him credit for. Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
He's improved over the years. I'll put this at great.
All right, Gary.
I like all the three. Yeah, the cheese fests. But there's nothing wrong with a little bit of fromage from now and again. So I'll put it in great.
Okay, Vizaxyn, did you say you've seen these or?
I haven't seen them.
Yeah. I mean, I'd put these in okay, but it's 2 for great, so I'll put it in great.
You mentioned about cheesy and stuff. This cheesy worked for me.
Yeah, fair enough. The only the most frustrating thing for me was the third one going PG. That really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because there was fucking no need for it, and it ended up flopping rather than making money. So that was poetic justice there. Anyway, next we have the Transporter series. A more modern take on your cheesy action kind of flick, starring Jason Statham, who went from a diver to a swindler to a full-on action star, and frankly, one of the more impressive action stars. I do enjoy his films for what they are. Gary, let's go to you.
Okay, I love Jason Statham and I love the Transporter series. So I just love that all 3. Yeah, there's cheesy as hell, but they're all like different takes. Like the first one, he has to take this woman who's been kidnapped like across from one place to another. Then he's looking for like some consulate, and then he has to rescue their family. And then the third one, he has to take some tar on a very. It's just great. It's just like. Okay, and the third one is brilliant just because like he has like the Russian goes, "You are the gay." No, I'm not the gay. I'm just not in the mood, and I just love that. So for me, yippee just because I love Jason Statham.
Okay, Vizaxyn.
I've only seen the first one, and I thought it was great. It was again. This is just another one of those things where I'm like, okay, this is just.
What's the third one?
This is just fun.
What's the third one? Honestly, you'll laugh your ass off.
Yeah, I agree with Gary. Watch the third one if you can. It's excellent. Sam?
Yeah, I don't mind if I first start. I just want to say I'll put them on great. That's where I'm putting all 3 of them. You know, they're all pretty similar to each other, but then again, it's about a getaway driver. So how different can you get? But what concerns me the most is what happened to Jason Statham's career after this, because he was pretty much action star, and this is a guy who's been in some very clever dialogue films like Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and it's a shame that he's never really returned to that. After these sort of movies, he's always done shitty
I love those
action
2
films.
movies too.
Yeah.
And I want to see him.
Those are 2 of my favorite movies.
I want to see Jason Statham mix it up a bit. I think he's tried to, but he just keeps going back to these things. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's all.
The problem is these are the only roles he's getting offered. You know, people in Hollywood just put him in silly daft action films all the time, and they're not going to work on a good script because they don't have the ability to work on a good script. Like Guy Ritchie in his prime would have worked on a good script that got the most out of Jason Statham. They've tried it in a couple of films, like a couple of the British action films, and that, but it doesn't fucking work.
I
So
want
he's
to
just
see
being
him in a romantic comedy without him throwing a single fucking punch. Come on, Jason, you can do it. You can do it.
trying.
Well, what would his first flirtation scenes? Are you the gay? No, I just don't want to kiss you the first date. Yeah,
he's making out with her, and
Alright.
he gets spooked a little bit, breaks her neck.
Yeah, these go in the great category for sure. I loved all three. Great or yippee-ki-yay, I'm not fussed. Either one.
I want UPK, but that's just me,
Okay,
'cause
Gary gets it. Okay, that's fine. Yippee-ki-yay for Gary, no problem. All right, next we have the Triple X series, which
for
went
fuck's sake.
Vin Diesel, then it went Ice Cube, and then it went back to Vin Diesel. Vizaxyn, have you seen any of these?
I've only seen the first two. I have not seen the third. Vin Diesel comes back in the third one. How's that? Didn't the one with Ice Cube say that he got killed?
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Beats
He
me.
faked his own death.
Okay, whatever. Okay, they're okay.
All right,
That's
Gary,
it. I mean, they're not Thumper Dumper, but they're okay.
no problem.
I hate all these movies. Thumper Dumper for me. Even Ramstein couldn't sign the first one.
Yeah, Zam.
Like the first two when they came out, but over the years I've stopped appreciating them. I mean, in the first film, after he killed the bad guy, he ended up having to chase an underwater missile, and that became like the villain for the last half hour of the fucking movie. It was stupid. Second one with Ice Cube, it was okay to a degree, saving the president and stuff, but it's still stupid. And the third one's also fucking stupid. You know what? Yeah, Thumper Dumper. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, Thumper Dumper. I hated these fucking films. I didn't
I'm
even
not
see
gonna.
the
I'm
first
not.
one.
I mean,
I don't
they're-
hate them, but the next level stupid. They were supposed to be a replacement for James Bond. You ain't gonna replace James Bond, so stop fucking trying.
No,
Yeah,
no, with
basically.
this stuff, you know.
Because Vin
Yeah.
Diesel's stuntman is fucking great, but Vin Diesel himself ain't.
All right, and we come to our final franchise, and it's a nice one to kind of close it off on. We have the Rambo films, another Stallone franchise, and like Zam said, it's quite impressive that he's managed to create 3 franchises. Kind of wish he would have created another one with the Demolition Man films, but unfortunately, they did the first one didn't perform well at the box office, so we never got sequels, bastards. So for me, I'm going to be brutally honest here. I only like First Blood. I don't like any of the other films, and that just is for me personally. It just goes either Thumper Dumper because you've got 4 films that follow it that were just crap. But that's just me personally. We'll go to Gary.
Okay, the first one I think is based on a book, and the rest of them aren't. But I would say that the second one is ridiculously over the top, but I love it to pieces. Even though
Propaganda machine.
even though it has racial stereotypes up the ass, like the lady he meets is not obviously Asian actress. She's obviously American, doing a really bad Vietnamese accent. And then the third one, he literally goes into Afghanistan to fight the entire flaming Afghan army.
No, the Russians.
No, they fight the Russians. Fights
with the Afghan army. Sorry, I do apologize.
At the end of the film, they praise the Taliban. They praise the
the
Mujahideen.
Mujahideen, yeah. They're praising
they
the freedom
fucking praise
fighters.
them.
Yeah,
Jeez.
and the third one is ridiculously over the top. But the other two, the second two are pretty poor. But I'd say I put it in good terms because I think the first 3, I know that what you're saying is right, but I can't help but love the other 2 for how cheesy and over the top they are.
Okay, you know there's 5 films, yeah.
Yes, but I know the other 2.
All right, no worries.
As I said, I don't. They drink it down for me. You became in my
Okay,
book.
Vizaxyn.
I've seen the first 4. I have not seen the last one. They were fun. I'd put them in okay, but it's like
Okay, Sam.
You can't compare First Blood to the other films. You really can't. First
you
Blood
can't.
is a phenomenal movie, and it was back at a time where Sylvester Stallone was still trying to be not an action star, but an actor. They just happened to have good action scenes in it, But it made sense in the world he was in. It wasn't overly flamboyant. It worked really well. Some of him like doing the trapping. So I got a sweet in my mouth. That's why I'm talking like this.
Yeah.
But the trappings and stuff like that. The first one was great. The second film, we just standing there, people shooting at him, Adrian, can't fucking stand it. The third film was pretty much the same. I did like the beginning of the third film where he's having that Tofun fight, which was pretty cool. Fourth one is stupid, but the brutality is really good. And the fifth one, they really tried to go back to First Blood, but it just did not work. And it was stupid, and it ended up being Home Alone with fucking death scenes. This is just great. First Blood kept it. First Blood is such a fantastic film. Just a great movie. But yeah, great. This is great. Yeah.
Okay.
I love First Blood. Such a great film.
Yeah. I want to put this in. It's only the first film that's great in these, and the rest are just wank. So I think it's only fair to put it in the okay tier, just because you have 4 really shit sequels for it. But First Blood on its own would be yippee-ki-yay. But the others just drag it right down. Anyway,
there's a lot of heart in First Blood. It's very emotional as well. I mean, it's just brilliant.
Well, because it works off of a book, so it's got a lot of material, whereas the other ones are just you're trying to deal with a bunch of brain-dead studio
First Blood Part 2 was like propaganda through the fucking arsehole.
Yeah,
No, but I love
Reagan
number 2.
years.
I love number 2 because of how over the top. And plus, it's got Steven Berkoff as a Russian soldier who's like torturing him.
That's the third one.
No, that's the second one. Where it's the second one, and he's got the rocket ship and he fires it. And he uses a bazooka out of the water. So it's ridiculously stupid. But
no, my favorite scene in the second one is just after his girlfriend dies. Like the guy who killed his girlfriend, he sees him and he's just shooting at him, and he's just patiently fucking putting his bow together and his fucking explosive on his fucking arrowhead. And this guy's still shooting at him, and then he aims and blows him up. I loved it. I fucking loved it.
It's ridiculously over.
And in the third one, he's having that fight with that Russian, and then he like does a roundhouse kick and pulls a grenade out of his chest, and he falls down the hole. And and they said, if he, he didn't have the rope around his neck, the fall would have killed him. He's got the rope down around his neck, so his neck breaks, that kills him. And just to make sure he's properly dead, they blow him up as well. So yeah, it's just brilliant in those senses. But I personally thought it was great, but obviously I understand you guys thinking differently. Sorry for yapping.
No, I think it's great as well.
All right, put it in great then. Yeah, sorry, we have an overall. We have it in great for the nostalgia field. No problem. All right, that's it. That is our action franchise tier list.
Sorry, I couldn't weigh in more. There's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
No problem. I want to thank my hosts for joining me, Zam, Vizaxyn, Gary. A pleasure. Join us for the next one. We have a few to go for. I think we'll do the horror one next, because believe it or not, the horror list is quite long. There are a lot of horror franchises. I was surprised how many there were. And for those,
I'd be able to weigh in on that one probably about as much as I was able to weigh in on this one.
Oh, don't worry. There's some of the horror stuff, like the recent stuff. I haven't seen many of them, so you should be in good company there in the horror tier list.
Okay.
But
I won't feel so bad about it then.
Right, that is it. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.